I'll never forget the day I walked into that chapel in Las Vegas and watched the chaos explode right in front of my eyes. It was supposed to be the perfect wedding for Sarah and Tom, but Sarah's sister, Lisa, turned it into a circus of humiliation. She stormed the altar with a microphone in hand, yelling for everyone to hear, "This bride is a thief. She stole our entire family inheritance, and I won't let it happen on the most important day of her life." The groom froze, the guests gasped, and Sarah collapsed on the floor, crying as Lisa threw fake photos of betrayals into the air. It was brutal, like a punch to the gut for everyone there. But what Lisa didn't know was that Tom, my future client, had a hidden camera recording every second. That was about to become the sweetest revenge I'd ever seen in 20 years of lawyering. My name is Jack Harlan, and I've been a lawyer in Las Vegas for over 2 decades. I handle divorces, family disputes, and inheritances every day. But this case? It got to me. It all started a few weeks earlier when Tom came to my office on the Strip. He was an ordinary guy, a casino manager, about 35, with an easy smile and eyes that always seemed on alert. "Jack, I need advice," he said, sitting in the chair across from me. "My wedding to Sarah is tomorrow, but her family is a mess. Her sister, Lisa, hates Sarah over an inheritance. I think she's going to try something." I listened to the whole story while sipping coffee. Sarah and Lisa were the only daughters of a wealthy couple who died in a car accident 5 years ago. The parents left a fortune, a big house in Henderson, stocks in tourism companies, and $200,000 in savings. In the will, everything went to Sarah, the older daughter, because she took care of their parents in the final years, paying medical bills and staying by their side in the hospital. Lisa, who lived in another city and barely visited, got nothing but a mention of good luck. She thought it was unfair, screaming that Sarah manipulated the parents. The fights were constant. Lisa would call in the middle of the night accusing Sarah of theft, and once she even showed up at Sarah's house demanding half the money. Tom explained that Sarah wanted peace. She loved her sister, but Lisa had been jealous since they were kids. "I love Sarah," Tom said, "but if Lisa ruins the wedding, I don't know what to do." I advised him to be careful. "Record everything if you can," I said. "In Nevada, visual evidence is gold in family disputes." He nodded and left, but I had no idea how spot on that would be. The wedding day arrived. The chapel was one of those themed ones, with neon lights and a bell playing country hymns. Sarah looked beautiful in a simple white dress, her hair down, smiling at the 50 guests, family, Tom's friends from the casino, and some distant relatives. Lisa was there, of course, sitting in the front row in a black dress that looked more like funeral attire than wedding wear. Tom told me later he noticed her fidgeting, glued to her phone the whole time. The ceremony started. The priest, a guy with a Texas drawl, called for silence. Tom and Sarah exchanged vows. "I love you forever," Sarah said, her voice trembling with emotion. Then came the "I do" moment. But before the priest could speak, the chapel door burst open with a bang. Lisa marched down the aisle holding a tablet and an envelope full of papers. "Stop everything," she shouted. "This woman doesn't deserve to get married. She stole my inheritance. Our parents hated me so much they left me out in the cold while she took it all." The guests murmured. Sarah went pale. "Lisa, please, not now," she begged. But Lisa didn't stop. She climbed onto the altar, grabbed the priest's microphone, and started showing photos on the tablet. Edited images of Sarah with other men, claiming betrayal. "Look, she cheats on the groom while spending our parents' money on trips." They were fake photos, cheap montages, but the impact was instant. Some guests laughed nervously, others whispered. Tom stood still, but his hand slipped discreetly to his pocket, activating a small lapel camera he'd bought because of my suggestion. Lisa kept up the show. She threw the envelope on the ground. It was proof that Sarah forged the will. I hired a detective. He proved Sarah lied to our parents to get everything. I deserve half. This family is mine too. Sarah dropped to her knees, sobbing. "You're crazy, Lisa. This is all lies." The priest tried to step in, but Lisa shoved him. "Get out of the way. Today, I humiliate her, like she humiliated me my whole life." The chaos lasted about 10 minutes. Guests ran out. Tom's mom yelled for Lisa to stop, and Tom finally reacted. He unplugged her microphone and called the chapel security. Lisa was dragged out, screaming insults. The wedding was canceled right there. Sarah and Tom went back to the hotel in silence, devastated. But Tom had the recording. Every word, every gesture, every fake photo, flying through the air. He called me that night. "Jack, you were right. I recorded it all. What do I do now?" The next day, in my office, we watched the video together. It was damning. Lisa admitting jealousy over the inheritance, faking evidence, and even threatening Sarah physically by shoving the priest. "That's defamation, harassment, and possibly forgery," I said. "But the worst is the emotional toll. Sarah's a wreck." Tom wanted to sue Lisa for emotional distress and interference in the marriage. Sarah, still shaken, agreed. She ruined my special day for petty revenge. We built the case. In Nevada, defamation laws are strong, especially in public events like weddings. Lisa had humiliated Sarah in front of witnesses, spreading lies about the inheritance. And the inheritance itself? While the will was valid, Lisa's actions could open the door to questioning her credibility in any future dispute. Lisa had already tried to contest the will before, losing in the first round but appealing. Our plan: use the video to disqualify her in court and win compensation for damages. Lisa, of course, didn't stay quiet. She hired a cheap lawyer and countersued, claiming Sarah provoked her and that the will was unfair. "My client is the real victim," her lawyer said in a pretrial meeting. She just wanted family justice. But I laughed inside. I had the ace up my sleeve. The trial came 2 months later, in a packed courtroom downtown in Las Vegas. The judge was a tough woman named Elena Ramirez, known for not tolerating drama. Sarah and Tom sat beside me, Sarah still thin and pale from the stress. Lisa was on the other side, with heavy makeup and an air of superiority. Her witnesses were her friends who swore Sarah was greedy. We started strong. I called Tom to the stand. He described the wedding day calmly. "It was the worst day of my life. Lisa invaded and destroyed everything over money she thinks she deserves." Then came the moment. I asked the court to play the video. The big screen lit up and silence fell. Everyone saw Lisa yelling, throwing photos, shoving the priest. The jurors, a mix of locals and tourists, widened their eyes. One muttered, "What a mess." Lisa tried to defend herself. I was emotional. Sarah stole my share of the inheritance. Our parents ignored me. Her lawyer asked about the will. But then came the twist. I called a surprise witness, the notary who drafted the original will. He brought documents showing Lisa was offered a conditional share. She just had to visit the parents monthly in their final years. She refused, saying she was too busy with her life. It was her choice, the notary said. Sarah fulfilled her filial duty. The courtroom buzzed with whispers. Lisa turned red, stammering, "That's a lie." But the video sealed her fate. In it she admitted, "I deserve it because I'm family, not like her who manipulated everything." Clearly, it was pure revenge, not justice. I argued Lisa didn't sabotage a wedding. She sabotaged a family out of greed. It caused lasting trauma to Sarah and Tom. We seek $50,000 in compensation for emotional damages and lost wedding costs. Lisa's lawyer tried to fight back, showing the fake photos as proof of Sarah's betrayal. But I proved they were montages. A TI expert analyzed them and showed Photoshop edits. "This is pure slander," I told the jury. Lisa started crying, but it was too late. The jury deliberated for just 2 hours. The verdict, guilty on all counts. Sarah won the full compensation, plus court costs. And the best part? The judge dismissed Lisa's appeal on the inheritance, citing the video as proof of bad faith. "Your actions show you're not seeking justice, but revenge," the judge said. Lisa left the courtroom humiliated, with local reporters covering the story. "Sister sabotages Vegas wedding over inheritance" became a headline. After the trial, Sarah and Tom rescheduled the wedding in a small ceremony, just for them. Tom thanked me with a whiskey in my office. "You saved our future, Jack." I smiled. Not me, the truth. And a good recording. "Lisa, I heard she moved far away, cut off from the family. Sarah's revenge wasn't aggressive. It was the law doing its job. But for Lisa, it was a public humiliation she'll never forget. This story teaches me something every day. In families, money can crack bonds, but evidence rebuilds justice. If you think you're in control, think twice. Someone might be recording. As the video played in the courtroom, I watched the jurors' faces change. A middle-aged woman covered her mouth, shocked by Lisa's invasion. An older man shook his head, muttering about families destroyed by jealousy. It was like reliving the chapel chaos, but now with the weight of the law. Lisa squirmed in her seat, her eyes darting to her lawyer, who looked lost. He'd promised her the case was easy, that Sarah was the greedy villain, but the video shattered that. Let me go back a bit and tell how I ended up representing Tom and Sarah. After the wedding disaster, they spent the night in their Bellagio hotel room, holding each other and crying. Sarah kept blaming herself. Why would my sister do this? We grew up together, sharing toys, secrets. Tom, always practical, reviewed the recording on his phone. Look at this love. She confessed everything. We'll use it against her. The next day, they canceled the honeymoon and came to my office. I was in the middle of a boring divorce when my secretary announced, a couple of almost newlyweds. Sounds urgent. When Tom explained, I saw the potential. It wasn't just wedding sabotage. It was a web of family resentments. I asked for inheritance details. Sarah brought the will, yellowed with age. My parents owned a small but successful travel agency. When they got sick, I quit my job to care for them. Lisa was in Los Angeles, dating and partying. She visited once, but fought with the nurse. The will was clear. Sarah inherited for exemplary filial service. Lisa got a grandmother's jewel and wishes of happiness. She contested right away, claiming coercion. The initial judge denied it, but she appealed, dragging it out. This video changes everything, I said. It shows malicious intent. We planned the strategy. Lawsuit for defamation, emotional harassment, and intentional interference with contract. The wedding as a contract. In Nevada, weddings have legal protections against sabotage. I added a petition to seal Lisa's inheritance appeal, arguing her actions proved bad character. Preparing the case was intense. I interviewed wedding guests. Sarah's aunt said, Lisa was always jealous. At the parents' funeral, she yelled that Sarah was fake. A casino friend of Tom's confirmed, I saw Lisa drinking before the ceremony, muttering about revenge. The TI expert, a guy named Mike from a local firm, analyzed the photos. Fake timestamps, edited image layers. Amateur, but malicious. Lisa, meanwhile, built a victim narrative. Her initial deposition claimed Sarah provoked her years ago, spreading rumors about her being irresponsible. She brought a detective, really a friend with a shady license, who swore he saw Sarah manipulating the parents. But under cross-examination he crumbled. Well, I didn't see anything firsthand. The trial day dawned hot in Vegas. The courtroom smelled of coffee and tension. I wore my favorite gray suit, Sarah a simple blue dress, Tom a white shirt. Lisa arrived in high heels, like she was on a TV show. Judge Ramirez banged the gavel. Let's keep this civilized. No drama. My opening was direct. This case is about a sister who turned family love into hate over money. Lisa invaded a sacred wedding to humiliate Sarah, all for an inheritance she lost by her own choice. Her lawyer countered. My client sought the truth. The inheritance was stolen. First witness, Sarah. She took the stand trembling, but steady. I loved my parents. I cared for them till the end. Lisa hardly called. The will was fair. Tears flowed as she described the wedding. I was so happy. Then she came and broke it all. The jury sympathized. A woman passed tissues. Tom followed. I recorded because Jack advised caution. The video shows the truth. When we played it, the audio echoed. Lisa yelling thief. The judge frowned. This is unacceptable. The twist came with the notary, Mr. Ellis. He was an elderly man with thick glasses. The will had a clause for Lisa, monthly visits. She signed refusing. I showed the document. Lisa shouted. I was busy. But the jury saw. It was laziness, not injustice. The expert sealed it. The photos are fakes. Someone used free software to edit. Lisa testified. Sarah hated me since we were kids. She stole my room, my friends. But under my cross, you planned this? Admit it. She stuttered. I just wanted justice. Closing. Lisa chose revenge over family. Sarah deserves peace. The jury voted unanimously. Post-trial, the hallway buzzed. Reporters swarmed Sarah. How do you feel? She smiled weakly, relieved. My sister was wrong, but I forgive her, one day. Lisa rushed out, head down, her lawyer muttering apologies. I shook Tom's hand. Good work, partner. Back at the office, I reviewed the papers. The compensation covered Sarah's dress $1,000, the chapel $2,000, and therapy for trauma 8 sessions, plus $10,000 for defamation. For the inheritance, the judge ordered Lisa to pay appeal costs, about $20,000. She appealed again, but lost on merits. Sarah called weeks later. Jack, Tom and I are good. We're planning kids, a normal life. I laughed. You deserve it. Lisa? Contacts said she isolated herself, working at a bar in Reno. The public humiliation broke her. Headlines in the Las Vegas Review-Journal called her the vengeful sister. This case changed me. Now I advise all brides and grooms. Record the rehearsal too. Because in Vegas, the show must go on, but truth always beats the bluff.